Hey, good morning, sportsman. John Bergsman here from the Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest. In the background, you see one of my favorite places of all, Little Bay de Noc in Escanaba, Michigan. We're gonna go smallmouth bass fishing today with Scott Cormier, a great friend and a fellow Strike King professional angler, and he's gonna show us a lot today about early season smallmouth bass fishing, shallow water. Stay tuned.
Ooh, sounded good, John. Oh, tank. Oh, there we go. Nice
Wow.
fish, John.
So you wonder if they want Strike King swimming jigs? That, Scott.
Oh yeah, she ate that one.
We're still a couple days before the season, so we can't keep these out of the water very long. So we're gonna let her go right away. And then Scott and I will show you exactly what we've been throwing here today. What a beautiful Escanaba fish. So Scott, show that product there. This is what we're using.
Now this is the 3 3/4 inch rage swimmer. I throw that a lot up here in the bay. Also, they do make a 4.75 inch, which I will be throwing a little bit later. But yeah, it's a great, just around a regular jig head. You can put on the back of umbrella rigs. All
that's
different
just
types
a
of
boxer
things.
jig, a quarter
That's
boxer.
just a quarter ounce boxer head or the redfish jig. Excellent choice. When they're shallow, when they're deep. We're throwing it on a quarter ounce head because we're pretty shallow today. So
yeah, and I landed that literally 6 inches from shore, and I pulled it once, and funk, she hit it. So I think there's more fish on this shoreline. All right, Scotty.
pretty little fish. Come on up here.
Well, I think the sun and this shallow flat is the combo, Scott.
Yeah, I think now that the sun's up, I think we're going to see a lot more fish cruising these shallow flats, getting up ready to spawn. Just a cute, pretty little male on that Strike King swimming shiner.
Fish.
Or you throw that fish and you catch a fish.
It's not very big, it can't be. Oh, maybe I'm all wrong.
You are all wrong. He was just coming at you.
I just said to Scott, where do I cast? And he said, anywhere out there. Well, that's when you know you're with a friend, when he says kind of the general direction. Yeah.
Nice fish.
Nice fish. Right out front.
Can I get him for you, John?
Oh, I think so, Scott. Beautiful smallmouth. Little Bay de Noc is literally second to none, in my opinion, for smallmouth bass fishing. I know you hear a lot of crazy things about crazy fisheries, and certainly St. Clair and Erie, Scott has got great fishing, but this day in and day out has got to be some of the best fishing in the world, isn't it, for smallmouth?
It is just one of the best places in the world.
It is. Beautiful.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Crestliner, forged with strength defined by durability. Strike King Lures, tie one on. Mercury Marine, go boldly.
Here we go.
Got him. Get him.
Big one too.
Oh, nice fish. Way to go, Scotty. Oh, good job, Scott. The creature. Oh my gosh.
Big old structure bug, right where it's supposed to be.
Bug. Top of the mouth.
Saw this fish just cruising around, just laying up by a bunch of beds. So she was probably just getting up there ready to spawn. Threw the structure bug out in front of her far enough that I didn't spook her. She went right over to it and picked it up. So a beautiful fish. Let's get her back in the water. There you go, baby. Well, up here on the bay, up in Escanaba, Gladstone area, we actually caught a lot of fish today, a bunch of different baits, but most of the stuff is all soft plastics that I was using, and it's typical for smallmouth. You're going to be fishing a tube. We're throwing this on a 3/4 ounce or down to an 1/8 ounce jig head. We did a lot of damage on the Rage swimmers today, both the smaller size and the larger size. John really didn't think we could catch smallmouth on these 5.5-inch baits, but there's no problem there. And really, towards the end, we were doing a lot with the swim and shiner. Now the big thing is, if you look at the difference between the two, you have a lot more kick in the back end side with this one, but it's a lot fatter. And it has a much different look swimming through the water on a jig head, and it's a much heavier profile than the swim and shiner. And it seemed this afternoon the swimming shiner just was much, much better in the bright sunlight. And this one just has a lot more wiggle to it. It's a little bit better in the darker sky. And then obviously we were doing a lot of sight fishing today. So obviously I had my Strike King S11 sunglasses on. Especially today I used the cloud yellow, so it's very easy to see these fish, especially the beds laying up here. But it's a great time to be on the water in the spring. Another thing that we saw when we got up in the bed areas is I was actually sight fishing the beds, and I was actually throwing Strike King's Rage Bug. This is a 4-inch Rage Bug. It has the nice appendages with the rage tails on them, throws off a lot of vibration in the water. But it looks like either a large crayfish profile, or really it looks like a bluegill. This one I was happening to throw as an orange belly with the green back. And I was swimming this up to the bed and hopping it down through the bed and watching what the fish were doing and seeing how they were reacting to it. And that would tell me how to actually put it back in the bed. And we caught a lot of fish doing that. So you always want to have something to throw back at them. If they're not going to hit the tube, sometimes come in with a creature bait if they're not going to hit a creature, but they'll swim out of the bed and hit a swim bait. There's just a lot of options for you. There we go. There's a good size one. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that is so much fun, Scott.
That's why I love Bay de Noc.
Right in the reeds. Look at that beauty. Look at that size of that bait and just engulfing it. Amazing. What an amazing fishery. Escanaba, Michigan, baby. Well, that was a total education today that we had on the water. Scott, a great angler, taught us a lot about the early season bite for smallmouth bass. You know, Little Bay de Noc has always been a destination for smallmouth bass fishermen, and it's becoming one of Michigan's premier destinations.